Oh shit. Okay, that's the bad guy. That suit looks sick though. Oh, the wings. Holy shit. Also making a V. Holy shit, it just straight up gets wings. That's crazy. This is very fast paced. Yo, there was so much in this opening that there's no way I'd be able to talk about everything. Holy shit. Okay. Is that Char? Is he back? Oh shit. Oh, I love this opening. Actually, I really like this song. One of my favorite songs so far for sure already. Oh, that's beautiful. That's artwork. Holy shit, that could be a wallpaper for a computer. Oh, I love this chorus. Holy shit. This is so different.
Gundam.
What? Dirty Gundam. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be finishing the list of Gundam openings that we started. Apologies for the background noise. My kitten Peanut, the mascot, the guy you see on the filters when I upload these videos and in the profile picture, the avatar for this channel, he's playing in the background and he's being a little menace. So we are going to return to the Gundam openings. I am recording this in a different day because, you know, I was recording rather late the last time. So, you know, we're picking it up again today and we're going to finish this set. We are checking out 13 openings today. So that's almost double what we checked out in the last video. So I hope you guys enjoy. Please, if you do enjoy, leave a like, comment, letting me know what your favorite opening from this set is, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm really excited to get back into this. The openings that we checked out the other day were amazing. There was an ending in there as well, played during the credits of a movie. And honestly, that one might be my favorite so far, simply because I really did like that song. Though, at the same time, I also did really like opening 3 that we checked out. So, yeah, we're just going to check this out today. And I'm really excited. If you guys like gaming content, I have a gaming channel, Jasper_Games, link in the description. I also have a Twitter where I post updates and stuff like that for streams, videos, uploads, etc. You can find that at Jasper_Tweets. It is also in the description below. And we are just jumping into this. Really excited. Let's see what we get today. So last time we were watching, we did watch the first opening for Mobile Suit Gundam. We checked out the 2 openings for Zeta. We checked out 2 openings for Double Zeta, so that's 5. And then we watched the credits played during, I can't remember the name of the movie, but it's a movie where Amuro and Char go battle it out. And we also watched the opening for 0080. So we've checked out 7 so far. Everything's been great so far. I'm really glad that we're finally checking out Gundam on the channel. It's been something that's been requested, especially in the comments of the retro videos that I upload. People are always asking, where's Gundam? Why have you not checked out Gundam? Gundam was a huge series in the 70s. Gundam was a huge series in the 80s. Why have you not checked out Gundam? I'm glad that we're getting that because it's nice that we're able to get an entire video or 2 videos for Gundam, because these have been a blast to check out so far. But yeah, we're just going to really jump right into this next one. This is going to be opening number 8 total, or number 1 for this video. So I will just be referring to this as opening 8. I'll be referring to them in the order that I've checked out Gundam openings, rather than, you know, number 2 for this video. I'll just be saying that this is number 8 just for convenience, because, you know, it's carrying on. So if you guys haven't checked out the first video, I would highly recommend you go check it out. I will put a link in the description below. You guys can find it there, and I hope you enjoy. And I'm so ready to jump into opening number 8 for Gundam and see what it is that we get. What if this is the very first 90s anime opening that we check out on the channel? I'm going to be curious to see what it is that we get. What's it going to be? 0079, 0080. Oh shit, we're running into the future. Oh, that's cool. Very different looking design. 0082, 83. Stardust Memory. Forget about your Stardust Crusaders. We got Stardust Memory here. Still beautiful backgrounds. Like, I love the way that these old anime are drawn. It's such a cool look. Oh, they got such 80s styles. Look at that. Oh, it's so cool. I got a burning heart. Yet again, the suits look great. Oh, is this like the classic Mobile Suit Gundam? It looked like it. Okay, maybe not. Oh, they're all here. Going through like... Oh! Oh, shit! Okay, that's the bad guy. That suit looks sick, though. that mech design? The size of that shield, too. Holy shit. Bro's not getting touched. I love the sound of this track, too. Like that... Is it a saxophone in the background just going the whole time? Oh, those suits look sick, though. Are they like... They look like they're from the same series of Gundam, though. So... Is this someone who stole a suit fighting the good guys here? Because that's what it maybe looks like. This is Mobile Suit Gundam 0083 Stardust Memory, a 13-episode OVA released in... Wait, what? This is 90s? We're doing a 90s series? Holy shit! Between 1991 to 1992. It's really interesting because I thought these designs looked very explicitly 80s, though I would have said late 80s, and the sound of the track as well sounded very 80s. So I'm surprised this is 90s, honestly, from watching and hearing what I just saw. Yeah, we are just out of the 80s, yeah, but like normally you can start like to see the transition like in the decades. Directed by Matsuko Kase, the first woman to direct a mecha anime, though back in the 70s, and Takashi Imanishi, the eventual Gundam The Origin adaptation, and with character designs from Toshihiro Kawamoto, co-founder of Bones, holy shit, designs for Cowboy Bebop and Wolf's Rain, that's big. The song is The Winner by Miki Matsubara, the resurgent city pop star. Stay with me. Honestly, I can see that, like the way the females were presented. Like, yeah, granted it didn't show a whole lot of them because, you know, so far everything I've seen in Gundam has been very much kind of like a male oriented like series, but when it does show the girls, they're presented in a very fun way. And, you know, it's nice seeing, like, people of color here as well. I can't remember if we saw anything like that prior to this. So, yeah, I like that from the brief moments we got with these two, they look like very fun characters. And they look like characters, you know, you'd really have a great time following, being around. In UC 0083, 3 years after the end of 1 Year War, the original war, 3 years after the end of the 1 Year War, the original series, a surviving Zeon cell hides out on Earth until their ace pilot Annabelle Gato successfully infiltrates a Federation base and steals one of the two new prototype Gundam models. So I was right. I did kind of predict that was going to be like a Gundam model because it looked very similar to the one that the other guy was piloting, and it looked really cool. Like the two Gundam mechas that we see in this opening, like the two main ones, like the good one and the bad one, they look really cool. I did really like their designs, and I really like that they showcase just how similar they are in this. So I was able to pick that out as someone who you know, doesn't watch Gundam. You know, the Zeon and Earth Federation designs always look pretty different, and you can normally pick them apart. I feel like the Earth Federation, they normally have like blockier looks, and you know, they use blue, reds, whites like a lot of the time, whereas the other teams, they'll use like just stark one color. Like from what I've seen, it's always just like one block color, and they look more rounded as well. So, you know, it's cool that I was able to pick that out. The mobile suit stolen by Gato is equipped with its own nuclear warhead. Jesus Christ. And he plans to make use of its power to initiate a large-scale plot of Zeon vengeance dubbed Operation Stardust. Rookie pilot Ko Uraki, a test candidate for the prototypes, is assigned the remaining model and the task of stopping Gato, or is it Gato, before it's too late. I'm leaning more towards Gato. Is he like cat-like? Isn't like Gato cat in Japanese? Has he got cat-like features? Has he got a sharp eye? Has he got big old claws? Is he curious? Oh, Neko is cat. Oh, well then what's Gato? I'm completely wrong here. See, that's how much I know. I'm trying to flex what I know, and I don't even know anything. That's crazy. Like I said, I did really like this opening. The city pop vibes were really in full swing here, which makes sense because you did mention that this is by Miki Matsubara, who is a city pop star, and you know it was a great track here. I love the just sound of the oh, in Spanish Gato is cat. See, I knew it was cat, I just got the wrong language. The sound of that saxophone just like ripping through the track every so often was so fun. It really added a flair of kind of style to this opening. It made it very, very fun, and it really invested me because like I was just swinging to the whole track, and then that saxophone just rips in and it really just like gives this thing a new lease of life. The visuals as well, they yet again they looked very Gundam, but at the same time they really stood out on their own. In terms of character designs, I would say this guy, the main character Uraki, this guy, I don't know if I'm crazy, but like he looks almost Shinji like, and you know obviously the right way to say that is that Shinji looks almost Uraki like, but you know like you just said, Ko's a bit plain. Shinji is also, I would imagine, very purposely plain, that he's not meant to stand out, and you know I think that's pretty cool because every character so far has had a different colored hair, different this, different that, whereas it's nice that we finally see like what looks like a normal guy piloting the mech and being the main character for this arc or this series right here. So I think that's a really, really cool, interesting choice. But I'm sure that doesn't take away from anything. You know, this being only 13 episodes long, I'm sure that they really just don't waste time, you know, doing any nonsense. It's just straight to the point. They're doing business, and it's really, I'd say for a 13 episode series, it's either going to flop or it's going to really invest you, and it's going to be probably one of the fan favorite little OVAs of this series, because this really did look like a lot of fun, and that's not just from the track alone. Like the titles, what is it, Stardust Memory? Like that's just a cool title. Stardust Memory, that's badass. Like it obviously made me think of Stardust Crusaders right off the bat. I'm sure that like this might have been some sort of an inspiration for Araki when he was creating this part 3. Oh, part 3 was also around this time too. That's really cool that we got two Stardust titles at the same time. I wonder which actually came first. Oh, it was 89 to 91. So Stardust Crusaders did come first. So I wonder if Stardust Crusaders, the title of that, somewhat inspired the title for this. But it's a really cool title. The Gundam designs as well, so badass. Like this shot right here, if I can find it again, like holy shit. This thing looks real ominous. The fact that this guy has a nuclear warhead. I wonder if he's going to try and nuke Dublin or some bullshit again. Really, really love this one. This is going to be a hard one to beat for this set of videos, like this video right here. I love how dynamic everything looks. Like look at this shot right here, like them clashing, the sparks flying out, the way that the two colors, so the like light blades, lightsabers, whatever you want to call them, I don't know what they're actually titled in Gundam itself, the way they kind of dim out and just like it's really cool. Like this is just a really, really cool shot, a really, really cool looking series. The way that they handle these fights looks so badass. You can tell already, like, yeah, these are both Gundam and they're both supposed to be piloted by the good guys, but you can tell just by looking at this which one is on the good side and which one's on the bad, because not only is the like light sword more scratchy for the one that's piloted by, they just call them beam sabers, they don't even try to hide it. That's really funny. The one that's piloted by Gato is more scratchy. It's also bigger, like it's chunkier, and it's got like all these extra features by the looks of things. The shield is much bigger too, so I feel like it's kind of an indication that this is the bad guy, you know, even though they are both Gundam and they do look very similar. I think that it's really cool that they add these little details that make it stand out, make it obvious which one is the one that we're supposed to be rooting for, and you know, the opposite, I guess. So really, really cool attention to detail here in this series, and you know, I think it's cool. I think this is a really, really cool looking one. Love the shading and everything. Like the shading and shots like these is so on point, so well done, and I just want to know how this actually plays out because this just looks really cool. I think we are now ready to check out the second opening for this video, which will be opening number 9 total. Wonder what we're gonna get, if we're gonna... I imagine we're staying in the 90s. Oh, is that Ko back? Okay, I forgot to say as well that like running through time thing in the previous opening was really cool. I like that we're kind of doing something similar here. So we're still in 83. Stardust Memory is getting a second opening. Okay, very similar shots like that one again. I think it's cool that Gundam does that. Like, it doesn't feel cheap, it's just cool little moments. That also looks similar. Okay, this is a similar shot, but it's different. Yep, there they are again. Did it get a second arc? Second season? Ooh. Okay, so she might be a potential love interest or someone that drives him to do this. I want to get the chance. For whom does the future exist now? Oh, the sweat. Was that Gato? She looks very interesting. Does this fight just rage on forever? Like, this looks like a very intense fight. It's spanned across 2 entire openings. He is sweating bullets. I think that's our main character. Holy shit, the debris and the parts of all the Gundam, I imagine, just floating through space here just really tells you the story of how huge this battle was, how much carnage happened during this fight, and just like how much loss potentially there was here, because, you know, this looks like a, you know, debris from potential Gundam and stuff. It's crazy. This is the second opening of Stardust Memory, the song being Men of Destiny by Mio or Mio. So for a 13 episode OVA, I got 2 openings. That's insane. Mobile Suit Gundam, 39 episodes, I think, and it had 1 opening. So, you know, splitting a 13 episode OVA with 2 openings was really, really interesting. I did really like that they did, because I got to see more of it. I got to see more of the characters. I got to see more of this huge fight that goes down. You forgot to mention this particular series is a bit Top Gun inspired, but you kind of don't see it. You call me what you will, but I've never seen Top Gun, so I wouldn't see it either. I don't see any inspiration because I haven't seen Top Gun. I guess seeing like the, you know, the base, like the gang and stuff. Like I'm pretty sure Top Gun is very all about the squad. So seeing shots like these are probably, you know, Top Gun-esque, maybe. I just think it's cool, though. Like, I love that they've got different colors. I wonder if the different colors that they wear kind of indicate their role. Like, our main character here, he's wearing an all-white suit, so he's the pilot. I wonder if the orange suits are support pilots or something like that. Maybe the ones wearing like the navy jackets are there in the control room, and they're kind of doing like announcements there, like communicating with the main character. And then the girl at the bottom left, she's like an engineer by the looks of things. I wonder if that's maybe what it's what the different colors indicate. If that is the case, I think that's also cool that, you know, you can tell who does what based on what they're wearing. You'll take this opportunity to say that OVAs in this period were a completely different beast from what they are today. Nowadays they're exclusively bonus episodes, whereas back in the day you could see the most creative work in the medium. Both TV and film had their own content restrictions, so OVA is where you would get away with whatever you wanted. Yeah, as long as the audience was willing to continue paying for it as each episode released. Yes, Peanut. The barrier of entry and price created a more mature, hardcore audience. Therefore, in the case of Gundam, it was where you sold series like 0080 and 0083 that called back to the original 0079, but with lavish detail that couldn't be possible on TV. It's how JoJo Part 3 got adapted to capitalize on its hype during serialization in Jump, how the Devilman manga received its first adaptation, and how the exceptionally cherished Legend of the Galactic Heroes could be made. I think it's really interesting. Like, yeah, I never even put much thought into it, but yeah, you say that OVAs then versus now are very, very different, and that is, yeah, that's completely like true. Like, I don't think I've really watched any OVAs, but I am aware that they're just kind of like bonus episodes. I'm a huge Attack on Titan fan, but I've never watched any of the OVAs. But I know they're just kind of like extended episodes or extended like flashback kind of moments for some of the characters. Oh, Fooly Cooley is OVA. Yeah, no, that's, yeah, 6 episodes, and that was so creatively unique and different. So yeah, I think that's a really good OVA that I did check out. I feel like the creativity that you can see and the fact that they can just get away with anything and whatever they wanted was, yeah, it was really, really cool. It looks so much better than everything that released in 2000. Yeah, absolutely. It looked phenomenal. It looked amazing. And yeah, the way that they packed so much into that series, and you know, we get to see that in this as well, because this looks so unique. Like, there's nothing else like this. Like, simple shots like these, you know, you take a shot like this nowadays, you see the shadows around the characters' faces, that wouldn't be there. It would just be like flat color. You know, there would be no like, none of this attention to detail. And I guess that's maybe a big part of the transition between hand drawn and digital. You know, maybe we did lose some of that detail and some of that attention to detail and some of that kind of like love that you feel. Maybe some of that was lost, you know, when that transition happened. But I just think that like, checking out older series like this, and this came out like 1991, 1992, so like realistically there's other series that I've seen around this, like not around this time, but like a little later than this, that don't have this much love that I feel is put into them, and that's such a shame. I think it's really cool that, like I said, we get 2 openings for this. The song for this one yet again was killer. I love the song. It definitely fit the same kind of vibe as the previous one. You know, it didn't have that same sound obviously, but it had the same vibe. And you know, getting to see more of the fight play out, like, it looks really, really intense. I love that we got to just kind of get an entire opening that kind of focused on the fight that happens between the main character and the main antagonist here, because it looks to be a huge one where huge stakes are at play. You know, we get to see both of them sweating bullets. I think that's Gato anyway, and then at the end we get to see our main character. So this is a very intense showdown, and it's one that I honestly like. Yeah, I also want to see the showdown between Amuro and Char, but I also like, I'm really invested in this one right here because we got to see so much of it from these 2 little openings for a 13 episode OVA. I feel like it's really, really cool, and I love that it, like I said while I was watching this, I love that it started showing like 0079 and it worked its way up. And I'm also just realizing, did the original Gundam series, was it taking place in 0079? Is that when it started? Because that's funny, because you know, 0079 1979 is when I think Gundam started, so that's very on the nose, and I didn't realize it until now. It's probably supposed to be super obvious, and it whoosh right over my head. So that's a really cool detail. They didn't even try to hide it, but that's fun. This climactic huge fight, battle, showdown, whatever it is between these 2 characters, I'm sure it's got huge stakes. I'm sure it's very fun to check out, and honestly, like, the more I watch of this, the more I just want to like dive head first into Gundam. But I know that's a huge commitment, so you know, we'll see. But yeah, like, everything that I've seen of Gundam so far has been really, really fun and really, really like interesting, and I just want to see more. I feel like I've kind of got a grasp of what happens, you know, here and there. Like, obviously, you know, we're gonna see a lot of the good guys prevailing, but you know, at the same time, we got, what was his name, Kill 'Em All, Tom something, who's there just to kill everyone. So who knows if we miss something in that one. Tomino lurks in the darkness. Yeah, so Kill 'Em All Tomino. You know, I don't know just how much of a feel-good series Gundam can actually be, but at the same time, I feel like the good guys have to prevail, right? Surely they have to prevail. But at the same time, you know, we got Kill 'Em All Tomino right there. There's a lot of greatness across the franchise, is all you'll say. Funny enough, like, this is going to be a kind of tangent, but I'll talk about it anyway. Pinecino, I remember we were talking about Kagurabachi, and the name Char came up. because there's a character in Kagurabachi called Char, and you were talking about how that's just the name of a character from Gundam. You probably didn't say this, but the way you talked about that character, like you didn't, I don't remember what you said, but the way you talked about them, I had it in my head, that's the main character. That's the character we rally behind and root for. But then watching those previous openings where they were the bad guy, that really, really threw me for a loop. That threw me so much. I did not think they were on the other side. I thought they were on our side the entire time. So yeah, that really threw me for a loop when I saw that Amuro, the main character, was fighting Char as Nabel. that really, really confused me. He's the main rival, but like he's probably the most iconic character. Yeah, he looks iconic. He wears sunglasses. He's got that beach blonde hair blowing in the wind. You know, he looks cool. He looks like a badass. I feel like in this OVA, we didn't really see anyone who stood out as kind of like this badass character, but we got a bunch of really cool looking characters and a really cool looking cast and a cool ensemble. So I think that this Stardust Memories, for being 13 episodes long, really does look like it fulfills its purpose and gives fans of Gundam and viewers of Gundam like a nice little series to latch on to and really enjoy. We are going to move on to opening number 10, and we're going to see what we have in store for us this time. A big V. Victory Gundam. That sounds uplifting. The Furious Rain. This is a lot more colorful. This is more 90s like I was expecting. This feels very 90s. Oh, those designs. I love this kind of style and design of characters. Oh shit, the way that just turned into a head was crazy. I'm willing to fight an endless defense. This looks much more like classic Mobile Suit Gundam design, like that look of the character just there. Stand up to the victory. The shading in that shot just now was really cool too. Was that like an alien? What was that? Big grasshopper? Oh shit. Oh, we're seeing her face in the sky. Why is it a kid piloting the Gundam? Oh hell yeah. He's fighting for her, but they look like kids. Oh, the big V in the sky as it was flying away. Oh, I gotta go back. Let me see. Like, that's a V, right? That's what that's supposed to be. That's really cool. This is a big V. The logo for this one is a big V right there. Yeah, that's cool that we get to see it kind of start and end the opening with this big V. This is Mobile Suit Victory Gundam, released in 1993, written and directed by the returning Yoshiyuki Tomino. No, they all die. That girl that he's seeing throughout the entire opening is dead. Oh no. With character designs by Hiroshi Osaka, yet another Bones co-founder. Holy shit, the Bones they did Gundam and then they went on to do Studio Bones. Like, that's crazy. Bones effectively spawned out of Sunrise. I see. There's a lot of crossover between the two. This song is Stand Up to the Victory by Tomohisa Kawasoe. Yeah, this was a really fun opening. It definitely felt more uplifting than the previous ones. The bright kind of colors as well, the title being Victory, the fact that we see plenty of shots like this where they're kind of running across like this background, you know, cherry blossoms, very bright, very colorful, and very uplifting seeming, but at the same time, like, it looks very ominous, which I guess is kind of calling back to, you know, the fact that this is done by Tomino. And you see 153, 60 years after the CC. Holy shit, this is 60 years later. That's insane. The Zanskare Empire has arisen from side 2, seeking to emulate the Zeon of old, but with the reintroduction of an even more old-fashioned method of keeping dissidents in check, the guillotine. The guillotine. Uso Ewin, a teenage space immigrant living on Earth, joins a civilian militia seeking to fight off Zanscare's advancement on onto the planet. His latent abilities afford him to pilot the Victory Gundam, a mobile suit made to recall the machine that once thwarted the mighty Zeon. Victory Gundam, that's really cool. So yeah, I see what it's called that now. It's in the future, 60 years in the future, and you know the Gundam is probably like this legend of old, and they create one that they're calling Victory Gundam because in the past the Gundam were victorious and kind of led to this. They kind of created this era of peace. So yeah, that's really cool that you know the name of the series makes sense as well. It's not just like thrown in there because it's a cool word. It makes sense that yeah, I like that it was done there. I think that the character designs here really do stand out because you can see the transition between the 80s to the 90s designs. These look a lot more like, think of a 90s anime series, like take your Berserk 97, take your Neon Genesis Evangelion, take your Pokemon even. Like these kind of designs are what I remember, what I know from the 90s anime. So it's really cool that we get to see that transition play out. We saw in the previous openings that it went like 0079, 0080, 0081, 0083. Like we got to see it count down the years. We're seeing the times change, and you know the animation is changing and everything is changing, and things aren't exactly the same as they were back when we started Gundam. When he fights him, the Zanscare are like, how dare you make it look like the Gundam? They made us look like the... and that makes us look like the bad guys. That's really funny. But they're trying to emulate the mighty Zeon, and they're using guillotines. How can they expect to be seen as any kind of good guys? Like that's kind of insane to me. Like that's wild. It's also nice to see a dog in this opening. I feel like that's the first time we see any kind of like dog. I don't know if we saw dogs, cats, anything like that in any of the previous ones, so that's nice. I'm glad that animals are, you know, thriving in this series. I hope that none of them get harmed in the making of it. This series has since proven to be a controversial entry. Interesting. There was another Gundam film, Gundam F91, that was initially planned as a series set on resetting the franchise on the 10th anniversary in 89, but production issues pushed it to 91 and its condensed theatrical film instead. This hoisted the task of bringing Gundam into the new decade onto Victory, particularly to children who enjoyed a chibi-fied standard definition Gundam series but were not moving on the rest of the franchise proper. This concern came to a head when, figuratively, at the last minute the broadcast order of episodes was switched. The Victory Gundam itself was originally set to debut in the 4th episode, but the episode was swapped with the actual premiere out of concerns kids wouldn't stick with the show that long to see it. This left the beginning very disjointed and confusing. This concern about kid appeal was then further compounded by the tone of the show, which we'll go on to have, but more on that later. Interesting because, yeah, that makes sense. I'm surprised that Tomino came back to make a kids-friendly show. That's really interesting, but at the same time, they were probably seeing a resurgence in, you know, all these other series coming up out of the woodworks and selling their merchandising to kids, and they were able to see how much money there was with that, and they probably decided, you know what, we got to do the same. We got to like really sell these Gundam to these kids. We got to really sell these characters to these kids. And how do we do that? We make it look kid friendly. We add these designs that look very different and very kid like or kid friendly. You know, these kids, I don't know what age these characters are, but they look like kids. I think you said earlier they were teenagers, but no, they do. He does not look like a teenager to me. He looks like a 9-year-old child. I don't know what to say. He's all about appealing to the younger generation. Things don't end up inevitably working out that way. That's insane. But yeah, I can see that because I did say earlier that it was noticeably more colorful, noticeably more uplifting, noticeably more colorful and friendly looking. So I guess that really makes sense for the rest of this. But you know, it's also saying like, look at how many people of color are in this opening. Like, that's just a really cool shot to see. That's really, really nice because, you know, some of the older openings, you know, you didn't really see that. And I think that shot as well, like, is a pretty good indication of the chibi-fied look that you were talking about because, yeah, these characters, They look like kids. Compare this to the previous opening that we just checked out, where they all looked like they were either late teens or early 20s or older, and they looked that way, and they looked cool. They looked like adults, and they looked like they were there to get shit done. These kids, it's kind of very different. Stand Up to the Victory just screams like, I'm going to make a song that has this real memorable hook that you're going to just remember, and that you're going to be singing. The kids are going to be singing it at school. They're going to be remembering this for years to come. It's really fun. Like, I did really enjoy it, but yeah, I can see that being something that, just sticks with kids. There was essentially a Chibi Gundam parody series also airing that the kids were fans of, but weren't growing up into the other series. Also, like, it's a really good indication of, like, the transition of the animation as well. Like, shots like these, where we see the Gundam transition into the kid. It's really fun. We see it kind of like play out in a really cool way. He's running alongside all these stars, and we see her face in the background. Also, shots where it kind of has that scratchy postcard effect, where it just kind of pauses on the Gundam, and it gives it a shit ton of shading, which looks badass. Very Dizaki like, I would say. Really, really cool. I love shots like these a lot. I guess also the V, because the Gundam models always have the little like antenna or like a little crown sticking out, and also we see this this V in the head right here, so it's very yet again on the nose and kind of obvious, and I should have picked it up a lot sooner. So yeah, really fun, kid-friendly opening here. It really gave me this sense of victory, which this opening is really trying to convey here. So really, really fun, very, very in your face, like colorful, and very get pumped and stand up to the victory. Like, you just better get a bit friendly victory. So I think I'm now ready to move on to opening number 11. We'll see what we get with this next one. Opening number 11, GV, Gundam Victory. Oh shit, that big wrapping V on the chest, that's a new design. That was not there in the previous one, right? This is double V. This is Victory squared with the V in the background again, the sparks. Really cool. They're spelling Victory out. Yep, okay, we're seeing the same shot. The Gundam being built. Splits up into different ships. City that always feels so down. Okay, very samey shots here, but the track in the background isn't as uplifting. Okay, that's pretty uplifting. Don't Stop, Carry On. But it's a lot more somber, a lot more downbeat. So the visuals kind of give it a different feel, like with this track. Oh, the wings, holy shit. Also making a V, holy shit, it just straight up gets wings. That's crazy. I'm embracing you. I love the look of these mechs. I'm embracing you. As he's running with his arms wide out. That's cool. Big V. This one was very short. This one was very, very short compared to some of the others there. Wing? More on that later. Yeah, isn't there a series, Mobile Suit Wing or something? Gundam Wing. This is the second opening of Victory Gundam, the song being Don't Stop, Carry On. A bit of a Don't Stop Believing, if you will, by RD. So this one definitely had a different kind of tone to the sound of the song. It was very much kind of more somber. It had a more somber feel to it. It had a more trying to pick you up from nothing and trying to encourage you to pick yourself up from nothing and to carry on. So to get back in that tone of the series, despite Uso being the youngest Gundam main character, yet with the intent to appeal to the youth, the series puts the kid through living hell. Holy shit. Within the first dozen episodes, Uso encounters an enemy pilot who realizes after they meet on foot that a kid has been killing their comrades in the Gundam. The soldier cries out in despair at the horror. Holy shit. Both at the loss of their losses and that a child was put into such a situation, committing suicide via grenade on this. Oh my god. On one hand, I hate that because that's really, really dark and grim, especially if this is being pushed towards younger audiences. That's in episode 7 or as early as almost like episode 7, something like that. That's crazy. But on the other hand, I really do love that they kind of tackle that theme of they're killing humans. Like, yeah, we root for these good guys, we follow them, we want them to succeed, but they're killing people. And that's something that a lot of series don't tackle. Think about a series like, it's not a great example, but take a series like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. We see early in, I'm comparing it to Stardust Crusaders, by the way, because one of the previous openings was called Stardust Memories. So Stardust Crusaders, first like 2 or 3 people that they meet that's been controlled by Dio, they save. Anyone after that, they just beat the shit out of and potentially kill. And it's not something you really think of. It's just kind of like something that happens. And I feel like a lot of series kind of do that, where they just kind of like kill people and you don't even think about it. It's just kind of something that happens. And a lot of times it's kids or teenagers that are doing this. And it's really like, if you take a second to think about it, like the loss of innocence, the loss of youth, and the fact that they're kind of like programmed, their brains are programmed, and they're just kind of doing these really horrific things that even adults shouldn't be doing. It's really dark and nasty and grim, and I do love that it tackles that kind of theme. I really do love it. It's something that I love so much when a series kind of tackles those darker themes that you don't often think about. Oh shit, people actually speculate that he had depression during this production, like Anna with Eva, to explain the tone, but I don't think if that's fully backed up with facts. Popularity, like it's kind of like a popular theory, but it's not actually backed up with facts. Well, that's really interesting. And if something like that is happening, I feel like that makes sense, because yeah, you're putting an actual kid through living hell, like you said, Pinecino. That's really grim, and it's actually horrific. Like that's really really sad. But at the same time, as a viewer, I'm eating that shit up. I would honestly love those moments of darkness, those moments of really dark, deep, crazy, like I don't know, like I'd be eating that shit up, because those were like some of my favorite moments from Evangelion, like those moments where it really just tackled those dark themes. Like I was loving Evangelion, but once it started getting like really really dark, depressing, and grim, that's when I really like just started to love the series more than I already did. Yeah, this type of tragedy persists throughout the show and can come off to some as excessive, especially when coupled with some of the attempts at levity thrown in. You need to have moments of levity though. Like we have moments of levity in every series, even when it's depressing as hell, which could have contributed to the show having a poor reputation. Okay, yeah, I could see that, I guess. Infamously, Tomino's interview on a DVD release was even titled, "This DVD should not be bought as it is not intended to be seen." Holy shit. Though he might have soured on it because Bandai acquired Gundam and Sunrise fully mid-production without him being informed. That's really sad. Yeah, he probably just like was pissed off at that point and just didn't really have any interest in anything. And I wouldn't be surprised then at this point if this is the final Tomino-led Gundam entry in the franchise, which is really sad. But at the same time, like, yeah, if he's done with the project, I wouldn't want him to continue. Others, however, have since grown to really appreciate it as an impactful and powerful work. Having recently watched it fully for the first time myself, I agree with them, to the point that his reputation as a bad Gundam show is actually confusing to me. Hopefully, within a decade, it reaches hidden gem status at the minimum. Yeah, everything about that I've heard about this sounds like great. I did think that this opening itself was a really great one. Like, I know that it wasn't as high energy and kind of, uplifting as the previous one. The lyrics were uplifting here, and the way that the kind of sound of the opening as well kind of did reach these moments where it was like uplifting in the sense that the instruments were kind of swelling, but it definitely didn't feel as kid oriented, this opening anyway. And I think that the topic of this series as well, like the tone, it really does interest me, and I'd honestly like maybe said that this is one of the series that I've checked out for the opening so far that is really most intriguing to me and that I'm most interested in. I would say obviously I would probably say like some of the OVAs would be the most enticing to me because they're shorter. But honestly, I would love to check out Gundam after checking out some of these openings so far. Obviously, I would start at the beginning, so I wouldn't be like just jumping to something that, I would lose a lot of context and a lot of the flavor for the series from. The show actually did technically achieve its goal of putting back motion into the franchise's engine, except it ended up being an older audience that had been re-engaged by the series' extreme elements. This would inspire Bandai, now full owner of both Gundam and Sunrise, to take an even more drastic direction. So that's leading into the next opening. Victory looks like a really good one. I love the character designs. I love everything that I've seen so far for this. I love that we got to see like literal wings in this opening, like the Gundam flying with wings. Not to keep talking about Evangelion, because it's literally the only mecha anime I've seen, but it reminds me of the shot from the opening from Eva, where the wings come out of Unit 1. It's just really cool shot. But yeah, I think that we are now ready to move on to opening number 12. And there was a recent Gundam that impacted Eva. Victory would be it. Yeah, that makes sense. The kids being put through hell, and some of the shots look pretty, I could see some inspiration, I guess. Gundam fight. Soar high up anywhere across the sky. Holy shit, is that like Shining Finger? Starfinger? Holy shit. Mobile Fighter Gundam. Okay. Walk forward, never turn back. Look at that Gundam just floating in the sky. What's it supposed to be representing? Oh shit. Okay, these designs look completely different. I must test myself many times. We're starting to get more like shonen style characters that I'm kind of used to. Oh shit, dead person. Only half a body. Oh shit, what was that? To run toward tomorrow. Gundam on the sword. Oh my god, okay. That Gundam with the face. Shining Finger. This is very fast paced. Yo, there was so much in this opening that there's no way I'd be able to talk about everything. Holy shit. This is Mobile Fighter G Gundam, released in 1994 as the 15th anniversary project, directed by Yasuhiro Imagawa, who did Shin Mazinger, and written by Yoshitake Suzuki, Mecha Hi-Fest Gao Gai Gar. Don't know what that is. If it wasn't already clear, this is Gundam in the Rule of Cool super robot tradition rather than the real robot style of the original series. The song is Flying in the Sky by Yoshifumi Ushima. It's also the first series not set in the Universal Century. Okay, I see. So this is a complete reset then. In future century 0060, the nations of Earth have migrated to colonies in space. The ruling nation of them all is decided by the Gundam Fight Tournament, each sending their champion Gundam to fight it out on the planet below. Neo Japan's Domon Kashu accepts his role for his country with the real motive of searching for his brother, a fiend that has torn their family apart. With the Shining Gundam, Domon fights for truth and justice while experiencing friendship and betrayal along the way. This one felt so vastly different. Like, I don't know if this makes sense, but the character design for, I guess, the main character Domon, like right here, if I can get a shot of him, I don't know. I'm seeing like a Beyblade character design. I'm being honest. Like that's what it's reminding me of. I can't remember the name of the character, but it's reminding me of like a Beyblade anime character. Very different from what we are used to seeing in these Gundam openings, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think that I loved the way Gundam really just had its own pocket that it fell into. Like it had like, it felt like it started with a niche that it kind of ran with, and it just kind of became its own thing, and it really just ran with it, and it really just like exemplified like everything. I don't know. It just like, I really did love the prior openings. This one felt shonen. I don't know. Like, yeah. I guess you did say it follows a more Rule of Cool Super Robot style, and it shows a shot of literally Japan in space. So it's very intriguing. I don't know really what to make of this, if it's a very like silly on the nose kind of series or what. The Neo America, Neo Japan, Neo France, etc. are all orbiting in space and send down their Gundams to fight out in the Battle Royale with Earth as the setting. Like, it's a cool concept. I do really like the concept of, like, you know, this show is incredible. I'm sure it is, but like, I'm not saying I don't like this one. I'm saying that it feels like a completely different series. If you told me this was like a different series entirely, I would have believed you. I would have believed, oh, this isn't Gundam anymore. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying that this one, like, I know you said earlier there was like a reboot series. This feels like a reboot series in the sense that it's not even Gundam anymore. I don't know. It's kind of just using the Gundam name to further sell more Gundam toys. I don't know. Like, I'm sure, like you said, it's an incredible show, and I'm sure if I was watching it, I would love it. But I'm just saying it's a shame that we're now kind of out of the real robot era of Gundam, and we're moving on to something new. And I think also the concept of you know, a battle royale of you know, all these continents, all these countries that are orbiting space. I don't know why they're orbiting space. If they sent like the land into space or anything like that, because, you know, Earth looks like it's just blue, so it looks like it's just all sea. So I wonder if the ocean sea levels were rising and they had to kind of just like send whole ass lands of country all this to space, or what the plan or gimmick was. But I think it's really cool, the idea that they're all orbiting Earth, and they're all, you know, sending their best people to Earth to fight it out, to, you know, pilot this Gundam. It's a really fun, cool idea. And I do think that it's very obvious that this is a departure from the Gundam of old, because, you know, this time there's no Zeon, there's no what was in the previous one, like Zandom. There's none of that, you know, kind of good guys versus bad guys kind of feel this time around. It feels very, very different. But yeah, I'm sure that the pocket and niche that this series is building for itself, I'm sure that it does very well, because everything so far has been amazing that I checked out from these Gundam openings, and I cannot only imagine that they're also great series to watch. And, you know, there's an all-star team on board for this series as well, intended as a reboot of the series, bringing a completely different tone to the series while not being tied to the rest of the series continuity. Well, that's cool at least. Its wild departure was controversial at the time among many longtime fans and even staff, but it proved to be greatly successful both domestically and alongside other series internationally, as it eventually would air on Cartoon Network. That's cool. It proved that Gundam could succeed outside the UC. Therefore, most series since have followed this with their own continuities. I'm not too upset about it, because I would hate for them to just keep milking a cow with the UC, and I'd like that they can use Gundam now to make their own unique stories, their own unique different takes on things, and it can be completely different. But I just hope that, you know, with a lot of these upcoming series that we're going to check out the openings for, it's not just that they're using Gundam as the selling point and that they're just kind of like, they could have been anything. I hope that it's kind of like got this idea of it wouldn't be the same without Gundam, if that makes sense. I don't know. Some still find it too great of a departure from the rest of the series, but this shit is so damn good. Each country having its own Gundam is simply incredible. Their designs incorporating the stereotypes associated with them. Neo France's looks like Napoleon. Neo Netherlands is a Gundam in a windmill. What? Neo Japan's is of course just a Gundam, and before the comments say it, Neo Mexico's wears a sombrero and it's called the Tequila Gundam. That's crazy. That seems like something that they would not get away with today. But that's very funny. I wonder if Irish Gundam would have just a pint of Guinness, and no, they probably just straight up make it a leprechaun. Who am I trying to kid here? The character designs look very cool. I love that we get this real sense that it is a complete departure. Everything is so different about it, you know, like obviously the super robot feel is so present here. Look at that shit. That shit's insane. Like, you wouldn't have seen that in a previous Gundam opening, like this kind of animalistic beast-like look to it. The show is as ridiculous as it looks and sounds, all the while nailing the classic beats of a good shonen action series. Despite how different it is, it's a series highlight. To top it all off, features the Master Asia. Highly recommend. What is the Master Asia? This was a really, really fun one. I love that we got this completely different feel because it really threw me off. I was expecting yet another Gundam opening, and this one was a shonen opening for sure. Shining Finger, I don't know what that's about. It's kind of an interesting title. Domon's master is a guy running around calling himself Master Asia. I see, okay. Shining Finger really did remind me of Starfinger from JoJo Part 3. The use of color in this opening as well is phenomenal. It definitely has a much more colorful all around the board opening than some of the other ones, even more so than the previous one, Victory Gundam. Like, there's just so much contrast, so much unique display of color in every single shot here. Tears dropping on this guy, I wonder what that's about. I wonder if that's kind of an indicator of the character's brother who, you know, splits the family apart, because, you know, the photograph is split. There's tears being dropped on the photograph itself, so I wonder if that's kind of telling us that. I don't know who this guy is, if it's his brother or what it's supposed to be, but it's really interesting. Yeah, I can kind of see like some of the different unique designs of the Gundam in this opening as well. I think it's really cool. I think that it's a very, very fun looking series. I think it's very much a departure from the Gundam of old. And, you know, as someone who's just been watching the openings, I don't know how I feel about that. But if I was watching the series proper and I knew that it was about to hit a complete hard reset, I feel like I would either be fine with it, or, you know, maybe I'd just be upset because I want to see that continuity continue. But, you know, that's not supposed to be a knock on the series, because this series is trying to find a pocket for itself. And I think that, you know, from what I've heard in the comments from Pinecino, it definitely did achieve that, and I think that that's really great. So, you know, I'm not trying to knock this at all. I hope that's not how it sounds. But, you know, it's so obvious that this is so different. The character designs, the flat kind of looks, opposed to, you know, having all this crazy shading. Everything is just so, like, we're on to the 90s now. We are not doing the same thing. We're different. Like, this is a different series. So yeah, really, really cool one to check out because of how different it was. I did like it as well, by the way. So yeah, I think we're now ready to move on to opening number, what's it going to be, 13? You were not expecting it to be received that way. I hope it didn't come across as an aggressively like, boo, like I didn't like this opening. I did like it, but I wasn't expecting that complete departure from the previous ones, because I was really like enjoying how the previous openings and the visuals, you know, you could tell they were all the same series. It felt like the same series, whereas this one felt so different. And that was kind of what I was trying to express. It wasn't that I didn't like it, it was that I don't know if this is still Gundam anymore as someone just watching the openings, or if this is just using Gundam to sell something. Like, I don't know. We are now ready to check out opening number 13. That was a cool shot, just standing on top of like a tower. Okay, I don't know what the kind of lines are about, if it's kind of to symbolize an arena, because that's maybe what it's supposed to be. Oh, the shading and the kind of cool shruggy effect there. Yeah, is that Master Asia guy? Holy shit. Fighting is only strengthened our friendship. Is that Gundam destroyed? There's never a waste. Did he have that scar in his cheek in the previous opening? Objection? Try to reach out your hand. This guy with the pink streaks in his hair. You'll be friends watching over you. You're not alone. Oh, that was cool. That sound effect playing as she was flying across the screen. Oh shit. I trust you forever. This felt very 90s. This was a very, very 90s opening for sure. This was opening number 2 for G Gundam. The song being Trust You Forever by Yoshifumi Ushima. Once again, they're back at it again. They've done both openings for this you know series of Gundam. This one had some really cool shots. Like this shot alone right here, they're standing against this huge ass mecha. They don't care. They're ready to fight. The shot at the very beginning where we see the Gundam like with this really cool design standing on top of this huge like beam like thing that connects like the beams that kind of make the arena. I remember we did see these beams of light going around Earth, I think, in the previous opening. So I guess that's kind of symbolizing that Earth is like a battlefield, Earth is an arena for these fights that go down. We see all these different shots of them flying through space, all the color, really cool. Seeing this mecha design, where is it if I can find it? This design of mecha right here looks badass. The Dark Gundam, yeah, this looks like this looks like the bad boy. This looks like the villain of Gundam. I don't know who this guy's supposed to be. Maybe he's the brother hiding behind a mask. He's got a V in his head, so, you know, I don't know, actually. Maybe he's from Victory Gundam. Who knows? This Gundam looks absolutely destroyed, though. I don't know what this kind of, like, power-up thing in the fist is, if that's how they, like, do the super robot kind of thing. You know, they kind of smack that and then the Gundam kind of morphs around them. I don't know if that's what that kind of symbolizes, opposed to just like hopping in it and piloting it. I think I did I'm starting to like see this series for what it is, and I'm not going to be as critical, because this was a really fun series. It definitely felt very 90s. The fact that it stands out and it, you know, really like built a foothold for itself, and it really just feels like a fun little series. This shot right here reminded me of the first ending for One Piece, funnily enough. But I do really like that they kind of just continue that same feel, but this time it feels like there's a lot more camaraderie. It feels like there's a lot more at stake, and you know, there's a lot more action and feel good. Like the song itself was very feel good, very uplifting. You know, you'll be friends watching over you, trust you forever. This guy is huge amongst all these little people. So yeah, I think that the opening itself really did succeed in presenting a series that really feels like you'll get behind these characters and you'll really like feel for them, and you really like, you know, get empowered alongside them. I don't know, there's a lot of lore, to be honest. Yeah, I can imagine. I'm curious though now if this kind of complete reboot reset of the entire series, G Gundam, if that means that it kind of isn't as dark as the previous openings. Like, is this still continuing that kind of darkness that was present in the like to take Victory Gundam for example? Like, are there like those same dark moments that Gundam, I guess, became known for? Because I'm not really like seeing anything to indicate that there are dark moments. Granted, like there wasn't really a whole lot in some of the other openings that indicated that there were dark moments, but I'm just curious to know if that is the case. It can get there, but in a more shonen-esque kind of way. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So it's not really like a huge moment that kind of changes the trajectory of the series or changes the trajectory of the characters or anything like that. It's just kind of these things that happen. I see the Mexican one here now. Okay, I see. I don't know the one on the left. I'm pretty sure now I see the Mexican one, and that's kind of crazy, honestly. But yeah, really cool opening. I loved it. I'm wondering if the one on the right, the Mexico one, isn't there. What is that one then? Oh, that's Napoleon. That's France. I see. I saw the hat and the cape, and I was like, what is that, like Mexico? But that's France. The one on the left, I don't know what it is. I'm curious if the one on the right is the Japan one, because it looks like it could be the US one. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just thinking like Transformers. It looks like a kind of Transformers design. His pals are the China, France, America, and Russia Gundam pilots. Okay, I see. I guess the one on the left is China? Maybe? Really cool here. I did really enjoy this one. It definitely did have a different vibe from the previous one. The previous one was more hype and get pumped, whereas this one took a more character driven kind of like emotional approach, and really like tackle those themes of these characters are trying to overcome things and they're trying to achieve their goals, and you know, it really makes me want to see them achieve those goals. And yeah, that was a really fun opening, and very action based, this one as well. And definitely felt very 90s shonen. So I guess we are much further away from the Gundam of old now that we're into opening number 2 for this one. I love the shots where they're kind of standing against this Gundam. And I just now noticed he's like got tears in his eyes. So this is probably his brother that he's seeing and having to fight here. And he's doing it with a lot of passion and with a lot of, it looks like, regret in his eyes. And then we get this really cool shot of the kind of postcard effect where the Gundam is just standing like with this really like, it's almost like screaming to the heavens look, while a shot of like someone is in the background. I don't know who she is. I don't know if we even saw her in any of the previous, this opening or the previous one. But yeah, really nicely done here. So that was opening number 13. And we are now going to move on to opening number 14 for this video, which Pinecino is very interested in. So we'll see what we get. Ooh. Okay. Very different sound. Oh shit. They making use of both ears. Okay, Gundam wing, that sound just came in smack bang, starting at the lashing rain. Oh shit, he looks cool. My entire body tonight. We're back to the kids piloting these mechs. Your wet shoulders? Comfort and warmth, okay. Oh no, not the teddy bear. So this one definitely is toning down the colors a lot more. This one looks like a lot of war is happening. Okay. Is that Char? Is he back? There's no way. There's no way he's back, right? He's just a body double, right? Oh shit, that like half destroyed face was cool. Was that Char as Nabel? Let me see if I can get a shot of him again. Okay, I don't think it's actually him. I think it's just someone that they're trying to emulate that kind of look. But this one definitely felt a lot more like the Gundam of old. I do think it's cool that Gundam doesn't just fall into this one pocket now, where we saw in the previous openings, the previous 2 for G Gundam, that Gundam can be something different entirely. But, you know, it's nice seeing that they haven't just completely deviated from this kind of like war torn like battlefield kind of feel to it, where it's like opposing sides really just at war with one another. This is Mobile Suit Gundam Wing, released in 1995, directed by Masahi Ikeda, the first and really the best season of Inuyasha. I'm not familiar with Inuyasha, so I'm not familiar, I don't know. Written by Katsuyuki Sumisawa, also Inuyasha, and part 1 of Naruto. Oh shit, okay. And character designs by Shuko Murase, would go on to direct Ergo Proxy and an ongoing trilogy of highly acclaimed Gundam films. The song is Just Communication by 2mix. You're gonna get to this guy, okay. In After Colony 0195, rebellious space colonies that have toiled under repressive rule from the Earth for decades have launched Operation Meteor. 5 powerful mobile suits are all sent separately to wreak havoc on the ruling United Earth Sphere Alliance, UESA. Subtlety is for cowards. Yeah, it's supposed to be USA, right? Like, I'm not overthinking, right? You're talking about subtlety in the sense that this is USA. And their military force Oz, Australia. One of the Gundam pilots, having taken on the name Hiro Yui, is forced to make a crash landing on the Earth after being intercepted in orbit by Oz ace pilots Zex Marquise. Hiro washes up ashore and is found by Relena Peacecraft, witness to his identity as a Gundam pilot and daughter of an influential politician seeking peace for humanity. Hiro's cold nature as a child soldier leads him to initially contemplate killing Relena to fully protect his confidentiality and therefore his mission. Yet their subsequent relationship impacts both of their dreams for a better humanity. There's also 4 other bozos running around in Gundams too, I guess. I wonder if the 4 other are the 4 that we see at the beginning. So this is obviously Relena that we see at the start there. Hiro that we see at the start, and then Relena is this girl that we see right here. So yeah, that's cool. Peacecraft is obviously a very on the nose name, considering her father's trying to get peace for Earth. I guess this is one of the pilots. This is one of the pilots. That's 2. That's 3. And that's 4. I really like this guy's design. I think he looks like he'd be a really cool character that I'd really vibe with, unless he's like poorly written and barely ever in the series. It's pretty cool that we get to see that the wars that use Gundam are kind of still ongoing. It's obviously a completely different timeline from, well, I don't know if it's a different timeline or just different continuity from the original Gundam series, but I think that it's pretty cool that we get to see that Gundam is still like this, like the ultimate weapon that is being used to settle wars. And I hope that it doesn't become a case where Gundam become kind of redundant, because then it's what's the point in the Gundam. Like I like that they're kind of seen as the be all end all of these wars, these kind of battles that play out within the series. And seeing the way that we get that the characters are being sent on these missions to take down the UESA, not the USA, it's the UESA. Like the UESA are obviously like the bad guys here, right? Are they not? I don't actually know. I'm not entirely sure. Is the USA the good guys, or are the good guys no, they're not. The USA are the good guys, right? Sorry, I'm like completely flopping here. I misread everything. The Char looking guy who is in this series is Zex Marquise. The Gundam series would develop this trope where they would always have a rival character, and due to Char's popularity, they would all kind of resemble him in some kind of way. From wearing a face mask to like Zex here, he literally looks almost identical. The type of character is referred to as the Char clone in each series. That's really funny, and I think that's interesting, but at the same time, like, I think it would be funny then if there was a series for Gundam where the Char clone is the main character, the character that we actually rally behind. I think that would be a really, really funny switch up, and I'd be interested to see if we actually do get that at some point. These 5 MCs were sent to fight the USA, though Oz becomes more the villain faction of the series. Okay, so yeah, that's interesting. So I think that the fact that we actually follow the rebel forces in this series is an interesting spin on it. And a lot of the shots here, like we get shots where, the mecha just looks so badass. Like I love the different colors, the different kind of looks for them, and the way that the animation is done so fluidly for them. Seeing like this little girl finding a teddy bear obviously represents that a child probably died in this war, because she's walking through like this area that's kind of like completely destroyed, and it's really sad because like children dying at the hands of war is never a good thing. And it happens sadly because like the casualties of war are just always happening. And the fact that this kind of shows that and tackles those kind of moments is really cool. Is that a scythe? We're not just using beam sabers anymore, we're also using beam scythes. Holy shit, that's cool. I guess I gotta check this out, because anyone who knows me, when I play Dark Souls, I run straight to the Great Scythe. I get that thing and I play through the entire game. Bloodborne, I beat the game and then I replay it with the G-Man scythe. Like, yeah, I just love scythe weapons in general. I love scythe users. They're just so cool. It's a really cool look. That's the Death Scythe. Holy shit. I mean, it makes sense. It's like a black Gundam, and it's in shadows and it's against like this war. Like, yeah, it looks like it would be kind of like wielded by the bad guy here. So yeah, that's absolutely badass and sick. Also here, I wonder if this is how he looks when he's not wearing the mask, or if it's just someone else entirely, because it looks like the hair for the Char lookalike on the right has like long blonde, like beach blonde hair, whereas this guy on the left looks a lot more charismatic and someone who probably is a ruler, someone who probably is a commander, I guess. So really cool that we get to see so many different characters. We get to see the personalities on their faces, and it's just so badass. Like, this is a really cool one. I did really like this opening a lot, actually. I think that the way that the song played out here as well, really coupled with the visuals, really did just tell us this story of the world is at war here. And, sadly, there's a lot of casualties and there's a lot of, sadly, a lot of people that are caught up in this. And I think that this really did encapsulate that perfectly well here. But I think now I'm maybe ready to move on to the next opening. I love that we got to see like a lot of fights happening potentially on Earth here, or like on land, because in previous Gundam openings we did see a lot of space battles. Like for the most part it was all in space, like the Gundam were fighting in space. So seeing the Gundam actually on land, like their feet are on ground, it's really, really cool, because that's very different. Wing followed from G, where Domon's sole main character role was expanded across 4 other pilots as the series went on, leading to Wing starting from the jump with 5 different main characters in their own Gundams. Your summary was heavily hero focused, but the other 4 do genuinely get a lot of screen time and have their own arcs. It's just that so much shit happens, many including me would say so much, in Wing that focus was required for word count concerns. Yeah, no, I appreciate that, because like from checking out these openings, like I'm very interested in Gundam now. Like I didn't realize just how much depth this series had. I thought it was kind of just like big mechs fighting. I thought like Gundam was honestly more Monster of the Week than anything else. So I'm honestly very, very interested in the series now, and getting to see like the way it's played out. And I appreciate that you didn't spoil all 5 characters. Well, you didn't spoil anything, but you didn't like talk too much about it. You kind of just gave me a taste of one character's arc here. The fact that there's four others in this series alone, like that's huge. Like, is Wing a very long series? Like how many episodes are in Wing? Because this feels like a very large series for Gundam. Like I'm thinking like 60 to 80 episodes to, wrap everything up. Like 50? Okay. Not as many as I would have thought, but that's still a lot. So I guess with 5 main characters, give each character 10 episodes each, maybe. Most of these have been like 50ish. Oh, really? Apart from, I guess, the OVAs. But yeah, no, that's really, really cool. I think that that's given me a lot more respect, I guess, for the series. Like these 2 openings, this and the previous one, where there's multiple main characters. I didn't really realize that. I thought from the way you were talking about this one, that Hero was the main character for this series. I didn't realize that the other 4 were also like the main characters. That's really cool, and I think that it's enticing for me, especially because that would make me want to check it out to find out what else is happening with these other 4. So yeah, really, really cool. Really like this one. The song as well was so cool, and I think I'm ready to move on to the next opening, which would be opening number 15. Oh, gotta get rid of that. Oh, this feels like a power ballad. Never mind. Okay, so this is Wing again. Okay, focus on Hero. I'm guessing that's here. Oh shit. Oh, I love this opening. Actually, I really like this song. It's one of my favorite songs so far, for sure, already. It's reminding me of something else, and I don't know what. It's reminding me of Eva, I guess. Passion and intensity. Give me the strength to never give up. I love the outlines that the characters have in this one, where they are kind of chunkier, like thicker outlines. Rhythm and motion. The sound effects as well, they're not exactly taking away from it. Normally I hate sound effects in openings, but it's actually pretty cool. They're adding a lot here, actually. The rhythm from the beat of my heart. A lot of fighting, a lot of action in this. Oh shit, that ended so soon. Oh, that ended far too soon. I was really into that. That one was sick. Yeah, I really like this opening. This is the second opening for Gundam Wing, the song being Rhythm Emotion by 2mix once again. So they're back at it again. No, this one, I really, really love the song. I like that the beginning. I don't know if it makes sense, but it sounded like a power ballad where, it starts off slow and then it reaches this high point. eventually, and it really like reached this high, but it reached the high really quickly. But the visuals where the main character, I guess Hiro, is looking like rather sad. You can't see his face, he's just looking down piloting. He's not even wearing a suit, which I think is really interesting. He's just wearing normal clothes. And then the mecha itself, like the Gundam, is looking down, but then it looks up and it's kind of like staring down its nose, so it's kind of got this like glare, and the eyes light up, so it's almost like this reluctance to actually pilot, reluctance to actually fight. It must be noted that this opening was released in February 1996, the first Gundam opening to debut post-premiere of a certain other mecha series that began on October 1995, Neon Genesis Evangelion. In fact, this opening debuted just 2 days after the episode where, spoilers for Evangelion, Toji's EVA unit is taken over by an angel, and EVA Unit 1 is forced against Shinji's will to defeat it. Needless to say, not just the mecha, but the anime landscape had now shifted forever. Yeah, that's actually insane. Like, I did say during this opening that the sound of the opening was reminding me of Evangelion, and I think that's pretty cool because the instrumentation, the synths, the singer's voice, like, I'm not saying that it was an Evangelion opening ripoff. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's just that's what it reminded me of. It was a similar sound, and it makes sense now that I learned that this opening was in the same era, the same time, like the same year as, well, within a year, I guess, of Evangelion airing. So I think that that's really, really cool, that, you know, you can almost pinpoint a sound to certain years for anime openings, I guess. I love, again, I was saying, like, the way that this unit, I say unit because I was talking about Evangelion, this Gundam is staring down its nose, like it's glaring, like it's reluctant to fight. And then, you know, we get the shot of another one that's just ready to fight. We see like I don't know what that is, like space station, I guess. And then we see Hiro sitting on a broken wall after probably familiarizing with the locals of like the earth that he's, you know, crash landed on, and he's now got this camaraderie or even just like relationship with them, like some of these people, and he doesn't want to see harm come to them, and he's looking down. He looks very sad in this opening, like he's looking down an awful lot. And, you know, then eventually we see him kind of open his eyes and look out yet again, like the beginning of the opening where the mech was kind of glaring. It's the same kind of shot here, where the eyes open, kind of like the eyes turning green, like lighting up and staring at us. It's a very similar shot here. I think that's really cool, well done. And then we see like some of the other characters that we know are the other mecha pilots, and we don't really see a whole lot of them in the opening, but we see, obviously, was her name Relena? So we see Relena kind of just like, she looks like she's some sort of like commander almost. I don't know what that's about, and she's like staring out in a completely different direction, but she looks really confident, whereas Hiro, the main character, you know, wearing a cloak, I guess it's to symbolize light and dark. Like, she's wearing light, he's wearing dark, because they come from different walks of life, they come from different sides of this fight that's happening. He's looking obviously down because he's not confident in what he thought he was there to do, his objective. He doesn't believe in it anymore, I guess, whereas she's very confident. She's looking down and she believes in what she's trying to achieve. I don't know if that's kind of what this is representing here. The 5 main leads were designed with the express intent in garnering an enthusiastic female audience, which they succeeded in handily. Tomino himself has stated that women fueling fandom around Char and depicting relations with other male characters was one of the primary reasons that saved the series from an early death. So this was really nothing new for the series, but I guess as the series went on and became more action oriented, action driven, maybe some of the female enjoyers kind of like fell off. So like, it's nice that we got to see that kind of boom and rise in that again. Relena also being the main character alongside Hiro was kind of part of that as an insert character for the intended audience, female enjoyers. I didn't know how to word that. I should have said female fans of the series, but yeah, female enjoyers. This one was really chock full of symbolism actually, and seeing this shot right here, like where the arms go out, I don't know if this is kind of like representing like kind of religious symbolism of, you know, Jesus on the cross, like sacrificing themselves, but then, you know, we see them shooting in both directions. So I don't know if it's really anything to do with that. Probably not, actually. But yeah, we get some really badass shots, and the sound effects in this opening were really cool because they really matched everything that we were seeing. The sound effects were really clean, and I loved especially the shots of like the eyes lighting up and stuff were really cool, like that shot there, and getting to see just what these mecha can do and the way that they clash yet again, really badass. I love the way that this is done, and yeah, it's a really cool looking series, really cool looking anime opening. And I imagine that this arc and this series especially is one that really tackles these real questions of, well, who is good, who is bad? You know, just because I was born on one side, does that mean that the other side is bad? I imagine that that's what Wing kind of tackles, because it looked like it really, from what I heard, with the fact that the main character came from one side and now he's crash landed and he's living amongst the others, but he still has these ideas of, I need to complete my goal, I need to complete my objective. I feel like this is a series that would really have these real heavy questions that hopefully get answered in a really well done way, and not kind of like a throwaway kind of way. I hope that it kind of really does tackle them and really spend some time on them. Another audience Wing found success in was the sought after international one. Wing, even more than G, is the Gundam series most would be familiar with in the West due to its prime airing spot on Cartoon Network, positioned right there at the start of the initial wave that came from Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon. It's the Mecha series that garnered the most eyeballs and therefore impacted perceptions of the genre for decades to come. If there's a 90s anime core Gundam series, Wing is it. Yeah, because I have definitely heard of Wing before. It's one of the few Gundam series I guess I've heard of. Like, I've heard of Wing, and I've heard of Witch from Mercury. I feel like that's really all I've actually heard of when it comes to Gundam. Maybe. I could be wrong. Maybe there's going to be one that shows up. But Witch from Mercury I've only heard of because it's a popular recent Gundam entry into the franchise. So that's really like the only reason I've heard of it. But yeah, Wing and Witch from Mercury, they're like the only two I had heard of before coming into this, besides obviously Mobile Suit Gundam. Like the initial first one, obviously, you know, I've heard of that. But yeah, really cool that I've been able to check these out today. Really fun opening so far, and really telling so many stories. And I think it's cool now that, like, I am enjoying it a lot more. Like, that initial like Band-Aid rip where we were moving away from the continuity, away from the UC, really threw me. But now that we're like 4 deep away from that continuity, I'm having a great time. I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing. It's just like my initial reaction of like, oh, is this even still Gundam? Like, that was just kind of because like it was just like this rip, and like I was just thrust into this completely new style or new kind of like continuity. So now that we're like thrust into it like a lot more, I am having a lot more fun with it, and I hope that initial reaction didn't come across as mean spirited or that I wasn't enjoying it, because it was just that shock factor of, oh, what's happening? This doesn't feel like Gundam, you know. That's why that happened. But I am now ready to move on to opening number 16 for this video, not for this video, opening number 16 of Gundam that I will be checking out. It's going to be another Wing. I can't read that. That's so fast. Or not so fast. The O8MS team? 1995. Is this an OVA? This has OVA written all over it. I need to turn this up. It's very quiet. Wounded Angel Wings and Gently. Yeah, this looks like it's going even further back to like G Gundam kind of look. Yeah, the really like saturated colors here, like it's really drawn out, the coloration here. It's very dull, I would say, but it's still got a lot of life and character. How icy they may be. That looks like the main character from I can't remember which one it was actually, but we saw it earlier. No, it wasn't Victory. Those wings on your back. Hold them close to me. Oh no, not the wrecked. This one looks a lot more about like warfare. Like we saw humans using guns. We hadn't really seen that prior to this. This is Mobile Suit Gundam, the 8th MS team, released across 1996 and 1999 as a 12 episode OVA series. The initial 6 episodes were directed by Takeyuki Kanda, hidden mecha gem Mellow Link, known for its attention to realism. That's cool. I like that. Until he died in a car accident. That's really, really depressing, actually. It's always really upsetting when creators are in the middle of like doing something, but then their lives are taken from them, sadly, because it's almost like their series, like the series that they were creating, isn't realized fully how they envisioned it anymore. So sometimes it could be done really well, but it's really, really obviously upsetting when stuff like that happens. So that's actually really sad. The remainder of the series was delayed for a year. That makes sense. And then resumed under director Umenosuke Ida, who did the Devilman OVAs and Hellsing, with character designs from Toshihiro Kawamoto, who did 0083, Bebop, and Wolf's Rain, etc. The song is Shining Through the Storm by Chihiro Yonekura. The song itself was really, really cool. I like it was kind of like riding a wave kind of song. I don't know if that makes sense, where it's like up and down, where it's like do 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 do, like throughout the entire song, like the cadence of her voice, or the notes that she was hitting, I guess, where it's kind of like up and down, and the instrumentation really matched that. So I think that it didn't get me too hyped and it didn't bring me too low. It just kind of kept me there, and I really appreciated that, because it was very different from some of the other openings that we checked out, where they're either all hype or all down here. And UC, oh shit, we're back to the UC right after I say that I'm enjoying being away from the UC. That's really funny. 0079, that's when Mobile Suit Gundam aired. What? During the 1 Year War, Ensign Shiro Amada is assigned to a Mobile Suit Battalion stationed in the Southeast Asia section of the war. The 8th MS team, comprised of ground-based Gundam models specialized for jungle combat and a group of misfits to pilot, is regularly tasked with small-scale missions against resident Zeon forces. Shiro must lead the team to survival, navigating local rebel politics and the yet unknown threat of a secret Zeon weapon. I did say while I was watching it felt like much more old school Gundam, and a lot of that was due to the saturation of the color and also the kind of designs of the characters. They felt much more old school than some of the others. Also, the use of shadows yet again is back, but I think it's really cool that this is kind of like jungle warfare. Like, we haven't seen anything like that in any of these other openings. Like I was saying in the previous opening or the previous 2 openings, that it's cool that we get to see some like ground-based warfare. I feel like that's something that we never saw in previous Gundam openings, whereas this one continues that trend, but is back to the original continuity during the 1 Year War, no less. So I think that this would be a really cool one to check out as an old school fan of Gundam, where you want to just kind of dive back into that, where obviously the 1 Year War wasn't just what we saw on screen. There was stuff happening again across all the different sides, I think they were called, and like different areas. Like it was more than just like what we saw on screen. So I think that a series that then tackles that and shows us some other side of that war is really cool. This series is a good illustration of Sunrise's strategy with the Gundam series that persists to this very day. Attract new audiences with series that can jump into without prior knowledge, G and Wing, and appease longtime fans by revisiting the original UC timeline every now and then with more condensed yet high production value projects. Case in point, 8th MS team contains an especially famous, lavishly produced mobile suit fight that ranks near the top for the Gundam fandom. I was going to say, like, the animation and the look of this series looks so great, like so incredible. Like, I love this kind of like old school look, like drain the color out of it and just present this series that looks like it came from the 80s. It's obviously, like, I love the color in previous openings as well, but I love the kind of look of this where it looks much more realistic. The fact that we're seeing these Gundam on the ground and we're seeing humans running around with guns, like, I imagine this is one that tackles the question of like ethics of like humans fighting a mecha. Like, is that morally okay? Like, maybe it doesn't actually tackle that, but you know, as someone who would be watching this, I would like to see that kind of question answered, where it's this question of, you know, humans fighting these huge mecha that, you know, outpower anything that humans could throw at them. I think that that's a really cool idea that's being presented here, and I hope that it is maybe answered. But you know, seeing like humans fighting alongside the mecha for once is a really cool concept and really cool idea, and I actually did really enjoy seeing that for once, because obviously, you know, the humans are also going to fight. Like, they're not just going to lie down and just accept their fate. So like, seeing that in this opening like a lot and focusing on the squad, the team, the 8th MS team, was really fun, and I did really like that. Right now, Witch from Mercury brings in the new fans, whereas right now there's a film trilogy set in the UC airing over the past few years for the old heads. That's fun. I like that a lot, actually. I hope that the old heads are enjoying that, and that, you know, the Witch from Mercury fans are enjoying that too, and that hopefully with Witch from Mercury they're maybe interested in checking out some of the older works, you know, diving back into Gundam history and checking out some older stuff. The way that Sunrise is handling Gundam is actually really cool. I do like that a lot, because, you know, getting to see a different sides of Gundam is just really badass and cool. That's Gundam 8th MS team. I really did like this one. The song was kick-ass while also remaining like somber. Like, it had those really cool moments where we felt that the song was gonna pick up, but it didn't, and we felt like the song was gonna go down, but it didn't. So we were kind of right there with them the entire opening, and you know, the visuals definitely match that, where we see Gundam destroyed, we see Gundam fighting humans, we see humans fighting humans, we see humans fighting Gundam. Like, it's so many different moments in this opening where it really presented these cool ideas, and to know now that we've gone back to the original UC is so badass, and I really do like that a lot, actually. But I think now we are ready to move on to opening number 17. All right, let's see what we get in opening number 17 for this video. Okay, yeah, that was loud. I had to turn it up for the previous one. And Gundam After War X. After War Gundam X. I don't know actually what order that is. I nearly forgotten it's beginning to stir. So there's been like a new Gundam project every year pretty much in the 90s, it seems like. Oh, those big eyes, completely different design. Look almost like Hunter x Hunter-esque, I would say. This guy looks cool. The sunglasses. Is that the Char-esque with the sunglasses? This shot right there is reminding me of Eva. Reach out with both hands. Oh, that's beautiful. That's artwork. Holy shit, that could be a wallpaper for a computer. These mecha designs look very interesting, like all the cannons and stuff. Oh, that was bright. I like the harmonizing in the voice here. That one started and it ended like just immediately. This is After War Gundam X, released in 1996, directed by Shinji Takamatsu, uncredited director of Wing's second half, later on the first Gintama. Mish favorite, daily lives of high school boys, primarily comedies, and written by Hiroyuki Kawasaki, Captain Tyler, Nadeshiko, mostly again comedies. The song is Dreams by Romantic Mode. In After War 0015, the Earth and space colonies still reel from an apocalyptic war. Earth unleashes the power of the Gundams on space, whereas the colonies responded with hundreds of colony drops on the planet's surface that triggered a 7-year nuclear war. Holy shit. Yeah, that's crazy. Survivalist Garon Ran becomes involved in the fate of a strange girl that is seemingly pursued by both factions and leads him to a pre-war Gundam X. They join a like-minded crew that seeks to stop humanity from repeating its past sins. My emphasis on the comedy work of the staff comes from the reality that this is a bleak series from the premise alone. It effectively exists in a future where the rivaling factions of any other Gundam show unleash an apocalypse on a humanity through their ever-escalating wars. This series would have, at least in the planning stages while Evangelion was airing, so I can't help but feel it had some impact considering the tone. Yeah, that's insane, because this opening had so many moments of just like darkness and like characters looking out, like looking hopeless and looking like he's looking out to the right, which is normally looking to the past. Like, and you know, every character that we see here, just there's no smiles. Everything looks bleak. Everything looks grim. The shots here of the character looking out there into that, like, I don't know if that's supposed to be a moment of beauty or a moment of like, you know, the actual war. Like, yeah, post-apocalyptic series is very different for what we've seen in Gundam so far. And the fact that even post-apocalypse, they're still fighting, it just goes to show that apocalypse, like these nuclear warheads, nuclear everything, all this shit just doesn't actually accomplish anything. It does the opposite, in fact. Like, this whole like, oh, we're deterring, like, it's bullshit. Like, it's really, really interesting. And I wonder if this is maybe, I know Japan has done a lot of commentary on post-nuclear Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Like, is this like similar feel where it's kind of like commentary on that? This does, on paper and visually, look very bleak, because like I said, no single character is smiling. Like, yeah, it's really like interesting and curious that like this is 1996. There's been so many Gundam series that have released in the 90s, and the fact that this is another one is just crazy. And the fact that it tells such a different story from anything else, like, this is obviously, you know, similar in the premise of like, you know, two factions fighting each other, one on Earth, one in space. But the fact that this tackles a really dark, grim tale of this is like the remnants of that war just still fighting. It's really, really sad and depressing, actually. And I hope that the series itself like doesn't shy away from those dark moments, because, you know, you did mention that it was a lot of comedy writers, workers that happened to work on this project. So I hope that it didn't lead to having like too many comedic moments, and like, you know, moments of levity are great, but I hope that it really just tackles that dark theme and just like runs with it the entire series, because this looked really, really grim. The song as well, like, let me hear it again. Like, that part right there, even when like we're reaching the hook and the height of the song, like the high point, she still keeps her voice down. Like, you know, she doesn't go like higher, she just keeps it just like maybe like a little bit higher than she was singing just prior to that. So like, we're not getting those high moments. The music, the instrumentation is all going all up there. It's really hitting those high moments, but she's keeping it down. I think that's maybe like, you know, a cool way to represent this opening, this series itself for Gundam, where, you know, there are no high points, there's just like low points. And maybe, I'm not sure if that's what it was showing here. This opening as well, like, showed us so much color, so much of the fighting of the series as well is really cool. The Gundam designs, as always, are phenomenal. I do love always checking out these designs. This is a really, really cool one to check out. I'm curious now if we're going to get a second opening for this. I assume we probably will. So we'll move on to that one next, I think, right now. So we're now ready to check out opening number 18. Yep, there it is again. Oh shit. Almost like Final Countdown-esque, the synths just now. Oh hell yeah, this really does sound like Final Countdown by Europe. Oh, almost, no, that's not a smile. Yeah, it's still depressing as hell looking. Yeah, she's reminding me of Killua in design. I don't know why. I don't know why, but it makes sense in my head. Oh, that was a smile. Okay, we're seeing some smiling characters now, so despite everything, you know, people can still find happiness. Is that the Char? Wearing sunglasses? Oh, I love this chorus. Holy shit. She's really going off. Oh shit. All the Gundam chasing that one Gundam. Little by little. What are all these wings? Oh, they're guns? Wings and guns? To help it fly? I'm not sure what that means. Holy shit. No, there's no way. Are they going to destroy the moon? That was the moon, right? Or is it a destroying Earth? Actually, it might be a destroyed Earth, because this like seeing the lights here, maybe, and the fact that they dropped a bunch of nukes on Earth, maybe is. This is supposed to be Earth because the sun is rising over it. This is the second opening of Gundam X, this song being Resolution by Romantic Mode once again. This definitely felt a bit more optimistic than the previous one, but at the same time, like, that ending is nasty. The way that this represented some real cool moments was really cool. Like, real cool meaning, like, the wings coming out and then the guns coming down. Like, that's just really badass and cool. And seeing this guy with the sunglasses, I'm guessing it's the Shark clone, and then having all these moments where we get to see the Gundam literally just fighting is badass. The singer's voice as well was really similar to the one before. Like, obviously the same singer, same group that did this opening, but it definitely didn't hit any high moments, but the instrumentation really did. And when she brought it up, she brought it to a point where, like, you just felt this driving beat and this driving force, and it really felt inspiring, actually, this one. And it really, like, made me just want to, like, see these characters, like, succeed and see what they get up to and really hope for the best, because this opening really did, like, make me feel, like, invested. And I think that a great part of that was matching the visuals with what I was hearing and seeing. So great job on all fronts in this one. An fortunate major element of X is that it shares the fate of the original Gundam series, getting its episode count cut down to 39 due to low ratings. That's a damn shame. Some point to Eva hogging all the attention, but more likely the case was simply franchise fatigue. I did mention there were so many Gundam different series in such a short span of time. Victory, G, and Wing all aired weekly and right into one another, creating an almost unbroken chain of 150 episodes across 3 years. Despite X's unique premise, I could see the look of yet another Gundam series caused many to tune out. Yeah, that is really sad. Especially, like, if you think about it, you've got these Gundam series that are all vastly different from one another, and then you get another one and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to, like, forget everything that I just watched and dive into a new one, get to meet new characters, get to understand a new plot, get to meet all this new information, and just, like, it's probably just draining. And like, if I was watching Gundam, I would probably split it up in the way that I wouldn't get this fatigue, where I would check out a part of it, like I'd check out a chunk, and then maybe a little while later, when I'm like, I'm really just wanting to get back into Gundam, that's when I check it out. I wouldn't want myself to get fatigued. I wouldn't want myself to get overwhelmed by, like, the daunting task of forgetting everything you just saw and checking out something new. Like, it is very draining. And yeah, I think it's really curious and interesting that, obviously, Mobile Suit Gundam was 1979, so I don't really want to include it, but because it's right at the tail end of the 70s. But the fact that the 80s had maybe, like, two or three total series, and some of that being OVAs, really speaks volumes for how much popularity it had, that people were just craving more. And there were only a few different, like, series for Gundam. Like, it really didn't, like, have this huge spanning, like, orbit, I guess, around it. Like, it was just like Gundam, and then Gundam Zeta, Gundam Double Zeta, and then, like, OVAs and stuff, like, and a movie. Like, there wasn't a lot, and yet it was, like, from what I understand, Gundam in the 80s was really, like, a huge force to be reckoned with. So the fact that in the 90s they saw waning popularity, and at the same time they were just pumping series after series after series after series after series, it would get draining, it would get tiring. But it's a damn shame, because the premise of this Gundam series is one of the most interesting to me. I really like the one before it as well, Wing and X. I really do love the premise of, like, Wing, where you get these characters going from one side to the other and learning their kind of customs and learning that they're human, they're not bad people, not everyone anyway. And then X having this idea of this is what happens after a post-apocalyptic war, whereas in other Gundam entries, maybe they prevent this apocalypse from happening, but in this one you jump right into where an apocalypse has happened. People are living post-apocalypse. People are learning to live a new kind of life, and people are learning to survive, and also the war still rages on. It's a great premise, and it's a damn shame that this is one that people didn't latch onto because of fatigue. The gap between 79 and Zeta was very noticeable, like a whole mecha renaissance happened in between. This opening, I did love it a lot, actually. It was really, really good. It presented so many cool visuals. Like this shot alone right here, like holy shit. I can't tell if this big ass Gundam with the big ass swords, like that's a cool ass shot, was shooting at Earth, the moon, or the sun, like, and then like this effect is so like it definitely hit. So really, really cool visually, and I think that the character designs as well look so cool. They look so unique. They look so classic 90s. You know, at the same time, it's a shame that this one didn't hit the ground like the same way as others, because with a bigger episode count, I'm sure they could have done what they wanted. You're mid watching this for the first time, so you actually don't know where that last beam is heading. Oh shit, okay. Well, I hope you're enjoying your watch, because from what you've typed out in the little bio that you gave me, this sounds honestly like a series that would be, for a fan of Gundam, would be really, really intriguing and interesting, because it's so different from anything else, by the sounds of things anyway, from premise alone. But yeah, I think now I am maybe ready to move on to opening number 19, which would be the second last for this video. So if we're ready, we should move on to the next one. What's it gonna be? We're still in the 90s, I imagine. This is so different.
Gundam.
What? Dirty Gundam. Oh, the color's really cool. Oh, that buffered. Weird. Oh shit, is this showing like clips and scenes from past Gundam series? Will past will rewrite history? A burning sun? What is that? Oh, it's a helmet. I was like, what are they holding down there? The character designs look almost familiar, but so different from anything else. Oh, the designs of the Gundam are badass. This looks like a very girl-centric series this time around, which I love. Give the girls a turn, you know. Oh shit, who's she? Is that the Char standing? I can't imagine. Oh shit, there's so many of her. What is he singing? I don't have lyrics. Oh, is he just saying turn A? Okay. Yo, that one was very, very different from the rest as well. This is random Birmingham man voice. Turn A Gundam. Released in 1999. Oh shit, okay. So this is the 20th anniversary project, and therefore directed and by the returning series created Yoshiyuki Tomino. Mechanical designs, aka the Gundam's incredible white beard stash from American designers Sid Mead, Blade Runner, Aliens, and Tron, and music composed by the one and only Yoko Kanno, who did Bebop, Wolf's Rain, Kids on the Slope, etc. The song is Turn a Turn? Is it Turn a Turn or Turn a Turn? Like, how do I pronounce that? By Hideki Saijou. This opening definitely was very, very different. Like, you know, immediately from the start, having a Gundam reaching out towards the moon, but then reaching past it, but then kind of pulling back and, you know, closing their fist. I don't know then if that means that the moon plays an important part in this series, because, you know, other series or other things where we sometimes see like symbolism like this can sometimes represent like a longing for freedom, a longing for something that is out of grasp, or it can also literally be something that is a key element or a key part of the series. In correct century 2345, 2 millennia have passed since a war had torn humanity asunder. Most of Earth remains uninhabitable, yet a remnant of humanity has survived and slowly recovered, whereas those that escaped made the moon their home. Okay, so it is a literal key element. Now called the moon race, and have continued to technologically advance. They continually check down on their original home planet to see if resettlement is possible. Loran Sihak, or Khak, is sent down on such a recon mission. So yeah, I love that it's the girl opening this time around, and the guy just speaking at the start was so like arcade shooter game kind of esque. Like it just reminds me of that kind of like arcade shooter, or like an early 2000s or late 90s video game, that like that kind of like voiceover for the title of the series, while there's a little ditty in the background. Seeing then all this imagery of, I guess it's the like some of the original series for Gundam, playing as they talk about erasing the stigma and the past will rewrite history, as this burning light shines through like a sun and just burns everything away, as we're then introduced to what I imagine is the main character. So it's like taking the original premise, taking everything from Gundam that you know and love, and just rewriting everything, which is what the lyrics are saying, and then it's what the visuals are also telling us, as it then introduces the main character. Is really smart actually, and I really do like that that's how they did that. Infiltrating a Victorian era styled society by working for the aristocratic Heim family, Loran is struck by the resemblance of the family's eldest daughter, Kiel, to the Moon's queen, Diana Sarai. As a year passes, Loran comes to value his time in the new society and makes meaningful bonds with those he's meant to observe. Loran even eventually finds himself participating in an Earthling coming-of-age ceremony centered around a giant stone statue referred to as the White Doll. So could that giant stone statue be... I'm going to spitball theorize for what that giant stone statue could be. It's either going to be a Gundam, like the original Gundam design, or it's going to be like Amuro, or even Char. Like it's going to be something so like shocking. I'm imagining that giant stone statue is going to be a really shocking moment. That's my prediction anyway. And as someone who would then like have been watching the series and knowing that this is the 20th anniversary project, checking this out after the other projects, that would be a really cool moment to see something like so huge like that, just like whoa, like a holy shit moment. Suddenly, to the surprise of even Loran, the moon race lands on Earth, intent on the full-scale invasion, holy shit, creating mass hysteria as seemingly to them aliens invade the 1900s-esque world. Yeah, the resulting chaos causes the White Doll's shell to break apart and reveal the Turn Gundam. Okay, so it was a Gundam. Okay, my spitball theories kind of got answered immediately, which Loran uses to temporarily create a standoff between the Earth and Moon. The young pilot works with figures on both sides to keep the peace and hopefully prevent another catastrophic war for humanity. Yeah, that's a really cool idea, where someone is sent to do recon, but they don't care about his recon and just invade anyway. Or maybe like they hear his recon and he's kind of talking about like don't invade, but they're like, we gotta, he's there, it's inhabitable, we gotta invade. And so they show up with all this technology, like all this shit that like this crazy technology that they have, and then this like 1900s world that's just like running on like fumes, like running on coal, probably running on all this shit. And suddenly for it to be like this crazy, like vastly different world, and like you said, like they are like aliens to them, this alien advancement, and they're there to re-inhabit Earth. And the fact that like they're not exactly willing to work alongside them, and it takes for the main character to do that, and the fact that Earth has a Gundam kind of tells you that they've got a history that they're not aware of. And so I think it's really cool that we get to see like this kind of interesting dynamic where someone has to stand between them who is from the moon. Like the guy from the moon has to stand between the moon and Earth and try and like, create peace talks and stuff like that. It's kind of loosely based on War of the Worlds, except the invading aliens are of course just a separated portion of humanities. It's just really interesting. It sounds like, honestly, like I feel like I've been saying this for the past few, like one of the most interesting projects. Like it's really, really cool one where, we actually have to see our character play both sides. And I'm sure at the beginning of the series, we come to know and love characters from the moon. And then we go to Earth and we come to know and love characters from Earth. And now we're pit between the middle. Like we are literally smack bang in the middle of Earth and the moon. And they've got this really interesting premise where we don't have a necessary good guy or a bad guy here. And I think that it would be really, really fun to check out. Like, this would be a real breath of fresh air for Gundam. It's got like the possibility of peace talks, I guess, and like the potential for humanity to come together and work together, opposed to just like straight up war happening at all times. Like, I think that the setup and the potential for this series is a really, really fun, cool one. And yeah, I'd be interested to check this out. The visuals definitely had these really interesting moments where, you know, we get scenes of the main characters kind of just in like these really interesting scenarios where they're all like reaching out, and you know, the Gundam are all there. Like, the visuals themselves, like, they're cool, but they're not the most like badass visuals this time around, so that kind of maybe lends into the whole, it's not the most action-based series of the bunch. It's more like about humanity. It's more about the human side of things, and I feel like that's what this opening really does convey here. And the song as well was really, really cool. Let me hear it again. Like it really has this driving force of, like, you know, you're not going to get too hyped, but you're going to get hyped. It's got this really cool sound to it. But if we're ready, we are going to check out opening number 20. Alright, so this is going to be the final opening for this video. I've had a lot of fun recording these Gundam opening reactions. This will be opening number 20 total. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, please subscribe, and please consider leaving a comment. Let me know your favorite series and opening below for Gundam. There will, of course, be more retro anime openings coming. I know you guys are waiting for a lot of classic retro anime openings. They are on their way, don't worry. And this has been a lot of fun, and we will be back more retro. We'll be back more 2000s, more 2010s, and more 2020s. We're gonna get through it, don't you worry. And let's just jump right into this. I'm having a lot of fun, you guys are great, and here we go, the final opening. That's loud! Holy shit! Turn A Gundam. Okay, yet again showing all the different images, but it's like they're falling leaves, but they're going upward. Interesting. I love these two character designs so much. They look so different from anything else that we've seen. It's the same person. I hope it stays the deep blue forever. So true. Oh shit. Oh shit, like butterfly wings? Hell yeah, that's badass. Yo, that guitar is hitting those high notes insane. That was crazy. Aw, look at that. That's so cute. Until I'm finally reborn. Yo, that design looks so different. Century Color. Turns? Oh, because turn A Gundam. Turn A turn. Okay, I was like, why are they just saying turns so randomly? Yeah, this one had some really beautiful moments. Like, especially this one right here. Like, this shot right here where they're reaching for each other. And the way they grab hold of each other, like very loosely interlocked, could represent, you know, the relationship they do have, where they're kind of loose with it, but also like it's probably to show like that despite the distance and how far away they are, they still manage to touch and like lock onto one another. This is the second opening of Turn A Gundam, the song being Century Color by Ray Guns. This opening actually released in January 2000, so I guess this was technically crossed over into the 2000s playlist. Oh no, that is unforgivable. January, post Turn of the Millennium? No, I don't care. But yeah, no, this was really cool. I'm glad that we got to check out both Turn A Gundam openings, because the mecha designs look so vastly different from the previous ones. I think that shots like these, you know, where we're seeing them all looking out remorsefully to space, and they all look like it looks like we see moments where they're having fun, but then moments where they're having to just snap out of fun to get into reality and to just get in the mech, essentially. So I wonder how that's kind of handled, if it's kind of like a they're kind of forced to kind of do things that they don't want to, or if it's more so that they're born into this. Like, I don't know how the whole child soldier thing is done in this. Like, if they are child soldiers yet again. At one point, you considered it not being in the retro one and instead randomly in the 2000s one. That's interesting. That, I mean, I'm glad you didn't do that, because it would have been weird having it out of turn, because now we can keep them all in one place, you know, like all of the Gundam series that started prior to 2000 are like all the openings that I've checked out are all here in one place. Tomnew's return to the series gives Turn a particular amount of weight. While some were notably great in their own right, the last few Gundam shows were made rather cynically with the intent of attracting new audiences to the franchise and to get those Bandai model kits flying off the shelves. Turn A, in turn, feels like a work imbued with meaning, made with the last 20 years of the franchise in retrospect. Due to this, it's come to be regarded as Gundam's magnum opus by quite a few. Holy shit, really? I'd never heard that. I'd never heard anyone talk about this one, but then that's because I'm outside of the Gundam sphere. I don't really know anything about it. This opening in the series itself, of course, is the last Gundam series to be animated on cell. Those that followed would be at the forefront of digital and CG animation, but this shift, I feel, definitely marks the end of something. As Turn A progresses, connections between its setting and all the way back to the original Gundam start to emerge, leaving the feeling that the series has come full circle in a way. Yeah, I was going to say, like, the feel I get from these two openings that I've just checked out feel very, I don't know if this is going to make sense, but feel very final opening for JoJo Part 6-esque, where, you know, we see Jolene going through like the history of JoJo and stuff like that. It feels like it's kind of like everything led to this, and everything that came before it was relevant. Everything that came before it makes sense, and everything that we saw prior is showing itself in this series. Like, you know, we've seen in both openings like shots and scenes of every I guess part of Gundam, I guess within the UC, the original timeline, you know, show up, and like I wasn't going to pause them on them and try and focus to see if I could see anything, because I don't want spoilers for the series, but it definitely felt like it was definitely obviously a celebration. It's the 20th anniversary. It's a celebration, first of all, but it feels like it's also like, you know, to outright show that stuff kind of indicates that this is the end of something. Like, this is what everything has been leading up to, and it's what's culminating in this kind of finale for Gundam. Obviously there's more Gundam to come after this, but you know, the fact that this is kind of like a culmination, but also like the final animated on cell kind of series really does feel like the end of an era, I guess, like for fans of Gundam. JoJo Part 1 has all the JoJos up to Jolene, so the last Stone Ocean refers back to that one. It's a bit of full circle moment. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, like showing those like exact same thing, but then, you know, starting with Jolene in the final one and going backwards and then ending up in the location, like the mansion of Part 1. It's a really nice full circle moment, and it's one that, you know, fans of the series really appreciate, and I'm sure the fans of Gundam really appreciate seeing that. I'm sure there's moments in this opening as well that are kind of like little callbacks and little moments that fans of Gundam might recognize. I for one don't recognize anything here. I see like the right here, the Gundam has butterfly wings. I'm sure that's kind of more metaphoric and not literal. Butterflies obviously representing freedom, beauty as well. So I don't know if that's kind of what this is supposed to be showing here, but I think that the fact that we see all these really interesting moments of like just the beauty of everything, it's just a really, really nice opening. The song itself was badass, kick-ass. I loved it. It was a great one to end on, and the fact that, you know, the Gundam designs as well, they don't look as intricate. They don't look as, you know, in your face. Yeah, I see that. I see that white beard stash right there. It's really, really interesting that the designs are much more toned down and much more like simple looking. Bro's about to wield the Guruguru, yeah. Kind of like what you said, where Tomino stepped back in and he was like, yo, I don't care as much about selling these model kits as I do about telling a story. And so he stripped back the exaggerated aspects of the Gundam and made them much more simple. And I guess like it makes sense considering this is calling back to the original Gundam. like, you know, where the designs weren't as like ridiculous. Like there were no sombreros, there was no Napoleon, there was no like big double guns with 6 wings coming out of the back. Like yes, those things look all really cool and badass, especially to watch it, but it's showing that you know, the designs that we see in future series, you know, they can be extravagant, they can look like badass designs, and you know, they can sell kits, but you know, what matters here in this series is the human aspects with the Gundam, and not what the Gundam look like. You know, the Gundam are a weapon, they're a tool that's used. Yes, the series is called Gundam, but you know, they're not supposed to be the main set, like the main thing, I guess, for this. It's supposed to be about the characters, it's supposed to be about the series itself, and I'm glad that Kill 'Em All Tomino came back, and I hope that he gives the characters a happy ending, and he gives the feeling of the Gundam getting a happy send off and a good farewell, I guess, before heading into the new millennium, you know? So yeah, this was a really, really nice one to end on. I really did enjoy every single Gundam opening and the ending that we checked out in part video 1. So this was an absolute blast, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And if there's anything else you would like to see, any other franchises, any other retro openings, let me know in the comments below. I'm obviously always open to your recommendations. I hope that if you did enjoy, you consider leaving a like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Have a great day. I hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.